The Galaxy Council had watched Earth for a long time. From a distance, the planet looked noisy, divided, and weak. Humans fought each other more than they fought their enemies. They argued, disagreed, and wasted time. To the Council, this meant only one thing: Earth was ready to be conquered. In the great circular chamber of the Council, leaders from powerful star empires gathered. Their ships ruled thousands of systems. Their weapons had erased civilizations older than Earth itself. When the topic of humans appeared on the central screen, the room filled with quiet laughter. Primitive, one commander said. Unstable, said another. No real threat, concluded the council speaker. The decision came quickly. Earth would not be warned. Earth would not be spared. The council would send a force so large that resistance would feel pointless. Not one fleet. Not 10. They would send 5,000 warships. Enough to end the human story in a single strike. Across the galaxy, engines ignited. Massive ships the size of cities moved into formation. Their hulls were covered in ancient symbols of conquest. Generals spoke confidently, already discussing how Earth's resources would be divided after the invasion. To them, this was not a war. It was an execution. As the Armada crossed through hyperspace, long-range sensors focused on Earth. They saw lights, oceans, and satellites. No massive fleets waited to defend it. No grand shield surrounded the planet. Human space looked quiet. Too quiet. The aliens took this as proof. Earth was afraid. On Earth, the warning arrived as a simple data pulse. No threats. No demands. Just numbers, speed, and direction. Human analysts read it in silence. The message spread across military and scientific networks within minutes. There was no panic. Cities did not shut down. People were not told to hide. No emergency broadcasts filled the air. To the average human, the day continued as normal. Planes flew. Trains moved. Children went to school. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in places never shown on any map, human commanders gathered. They did not raise their voices. They did not rush. Each person already knew their role. One officer looked at the projected image of the incoming armada. 5,000, he said calmly. Another nodded. So they chose force. No speeches followed. No heroic words. Only quiet commands sent across hidden channels. Signals moved through systems that did not exist on public records. Old machines powered on for the first time in decades. Some for the first time ever. Far beyond Earth, the alien fleet slowed as it entered human-controlled space. Commanders prepared to fire the opening strike. They expected last-minute pleas. Maybe a message asking for mercy. Nothing came. Earth remained silent. The Council fleet moved closer. Scouts advanced, scanning human satellites and stations. What they found made no sense. The data did not match. Signals overlapped. Space around Earth behaved strangely, like it was bending in ways their science could not explain. Reports started coming in. Navigation delays. Sensor echoes. Minor system failures. The commanders ignored them. They had seen fear before. Confusion always came before collapse. As the first line of alien warships crossed a marked boundary near Earth's orbit, a human system finally responded. Not with words. Not with weapons. Something changed. Space itself seemed to tighten, like a net slowly being pulled closed. On Earth, a single human technician looked at his screen and spoke softly, almost to himself. They're in. Across the dark between stars, something ancient and carefully hidden finished waking up. And the invasion of Earth truly began. The alien armada moved with confidence. Thousands of warships spread out as they entered deeper into human space. Their commanders believed this part of the mission would be simple. Break the outer defenses, move to Earth's orbit, then end the planet in one clean strike. But something felt wrong. Scanners showed empty space, yet readings kept changing. Distances stretched and shrank by small amounts. Time signals arrived late, then early. The alien scientists argued among themselves, blaming weak human technology for false data. Stay on course, the fleet command ordered. Earth has no power to stop us. Closer to Earth, human satellites floated in neat lines. Small. Lightly armed. Almost fragile. Alien commanders laughed at the sight. They ordered a few ships to destroy them as a warning. The weapons fired. Nothing happened. The energy beams bent slightly, sliding past their targets as if space had shifted at the last moment. The satellites remained untouched. Before the aliens could react, the satellites powered down and vanished from sensors. Confusion spread through the fleet. Reports came in from every direction. Communication lag increased. Navigation maps no longer matched real space. Ships at the back of the formation could not see ships at the front. The alien commanders argued. Some demanded a retreat to reorganize. Others called it cowardice. The strongest voices won. They pushed forward. On Earth, human commanders watched everything unfold in silence. Massive screens showed the armada slowly drifting into carefully marked zones. Each zone had a number. Each number had a purpose. Phase 1 is complete, a human analyst said calmly. No cheers followed. The aliens finally noticed something strange. Their ships were no longer traveling in straight lines. Even at constant speed, their paths curved slightly. Small corrections drained power faster than expected. Engines overheated. Cooling systems struggled. Then the first ship stopped. Its engines cut out without warning. Backup systems failed seconds later. The crew tried to send a distress call, but the signal never left the ship. To nearby vessels, it simply froze in space. Then another ship stopped. Then 5 more. Fleet Command demanded answers. Engineers rushed to fix problems that did not follow known rules. The alien understanding of physics no longer worked here. They did not know that humans had never trusted space to behave. Long ago, humans had learned that space was not empty. It was flexible. It could be shaped, folded, and stressed like metal. They had tested it in secret, far from watching eyes. They failed many times. They lost people. But they learned. Now that knowledge was active. The alien fleet moved deeper into the trap. Each ship crossed invisible lines that locked them into place. They did not feel it happen. There was no alarm. No explosion. Only silence. The first alien commander ordered a full weapons test. Hundreds of ships fired at open space, trying to clear a path. The weapons vanished mid-flight, swallowed by distorted gravity fields. Fear began to spread. Some crews tried to turn back. Their ships refused. Others increased power, only to burn out their engines. Panic replaced confidence. The armada that once filled the stars now felt small and lost. On Earth, a human general finally spoke. Begin containment. Across space, hidden human systems activated fully. Field strengthened. Distortions sharpened. The alien fleet was no longer invading. It was surrounded. One alien officer whispered a truth too late for anyone to hear. This was never an open war. As Earth remained silent, the trap closed completely, and the galaxy's greatest armada realized it had already lost its freedom. The alien fleet understood the truth too late. This was not confusion. This was control. Every ship, every signal, every movement now belonged to rules they did not understand. Fleet Command tried to restore order. Emergency signals were sent across all channels. None returned. The Armada was alone, trapped inside human space like insects inside glass. Then humanity moved. There was no warning shot. No dramatic announcement. Human weapons did not roar or glow bright enough to be seen from Earth. They worked quietly, with cold purpose. The first human strike came as a change in gravity. Entire sections of the alien fleet were pulled sideways, then down, then folded inward. Ships crashed into each other at impossible angles. Hulls broke without explosions. Crews were crushed by forces their bodies could not fight. Alien commanders screamed orders. Formation was impossible. Distance had lost meaning. Human kinetic weapons followed. Small, fast objects moved through distorted space at speeds no shield could stop. They struck engines, command decks, and power cores with perfect accuracy. One hit was enough. Every shot mattered. The aliens tried to fight back. Thousands of weapons fired wildly into space. Energy beams bent away. Missiles turned and vanished. Some weapons came back and struck the ships that fired them. Panic spread like fire through the fleet. On Earth, human operators spoke calmly, almost bored. Target Group 7 neutralized. Shift pressure field 3 degrees. Proceed to next sector. To them, this was not chaos. It was cleanup. Alien ships began to disappear from sensors. Some were crushed into nothing. Others were pulled apart slowly, piece by piece, like metal being tested for weakness. Crews begged for evacuation that would never come. A few alien admirals finally understood the difference between humans and other species. Humans did not fight for honor. They fought to end threats forever. One alien commander ordered a desperate charge. Hundreds of ships pushed all power into their engines, trying to force their way out of the trap. For a moment, it almost worked. Then space hardened. The ships slammed into an invisible wall. Engines tore themselves apart. Power cores overloaded. In seconds, the charge became debris. The rest of the fleet watched. Hope died. Humanity then revealed something worse than weapons. Patience. They did not rush. They did not destroy everything at once. They divided the fleet into sections and removed them one by one. Each minute, another group vanished. Each minute, the survivors understood they would be next. The alien crews began turning on each other. Some tried to steal working ships. Others sabotaged nearby vessels to improve their own chances. Order collapsed completely. Through all of it, Earth stayed silent. No victory message was sent. No threats were spoken. Finally, the alien leaders attempted surrender. They broadcast messages of peace, offering treaties, resources, even their worlds. The signals reached Earth. They were ignored. Humanity had listened earlier. The Galaxy Council had chosen invasion instead. The destruction continued. Hours passed. Then days. What remained of the Armada was no longer an army. It was a scattered group of broken ships, drifting in fear, waiting for the moment they would be chosen. Out of 5,000 warships, fewer than 200 still functioned. A human commander looked at the numbers and nodded. Begin final reduction. Across space, the trap tightened again. This time, there would be no confusion. No struggle. Only survivors. And there would not be many. Fear had a sound. Inside the remaining alien warships, it was the low hum of failing systems, the quiet sobs of crews, and the sharp voices of commanders who no longer believed their own orders. Less than 200 ships were still alive. They were no longer grouped. No longer organized. Each vessel drifted in distorted space, trapped inside invisible cages. Some ships had no power. Others had engines but no direction. A few still had weapons, but no targets that made sense. Humanity controlled everything. The alien leaders finally accepted what their pride had refused to see. This was not a battle meant to be won. It was a lesson meant to be remembered. Panic turned into desperation. Several alien captains made a brutal choice. They destroyed nearby damaged ships to steal their power cores. Crews were abandoned without mercy. Escape pods were crushed by gravity fields before they could open. Survival had replaced honor. The human systems did not react faster. They waited. Every movement was tracked. Every betrayal was recorded. A small group of alien warships discovered a weakness. A narrow corridor where distortion was slightly weaker. It was not an exit, but it was movement. They shared the information secretly. Soon, dozens of ships rushed toward it. Humans noticed immediately. Instead of closing the corridor, they widened it. The aliens believed this was their chance. As the ships entered the passage, space twisted sharply. The corridor became a funnel. Ships collided at high speed. Hulls shattered. Fires burned without oxygen. One ship's explosion damaged 3 others. In seconds, the escape route became a graveyard. Only a handful of ships made it through the other side. Those ships ran. They pushed their engines beyond limits. Power systems melted. Crews died at their stations. No one stopped to help. No one looked back. Human weapons followed, calm and precise. One by one, fleeing ships vanished from sensors. Some were pulled back into the trap. Others were crushed mid-jump. A few simply disappeared, their atoms spread across space. The number kept falling. 50 ships. 30. 20. The galaxy had once believed 5,000 ships would be more than enough to conquer Earth. Now, only 18 remained. Those 18 ships did something unexpected. They stopped fighting. They powered down their weapons. They aligned their ships into a tight group and broadcast a single message across every frequency they had. We surrender. We will leave. Please. The message reached Earth. For the first time, humanity answered. Not with words. The space around the 18 ships opened. The distortions relaxed. The gravity traps loosened. For the first time since entering human space, the alien instruments made sense again. The path home appeared. Human commanders watched carefully. Let them go, one said. No celebration followed. No anger. Just cold agreement. The 18 ships fled. They did not look back. They did not stop. They jumped through hyperspace with systems barely holding together, carrying scars that would never be repaired. Behind them, human space returned to normal. Distortions faded. Weapons powered down. Ancient systems went silent once more. On Earth, people still went about their lives, unaware that a war had ended without them ever seeing it. Far away, the survivors raced toward the Galaxy Council. Their ships were damaged. Their crews were broken. Their pride was gone. They carried no victory. Only fear. And when they finally reached the heart of the galaxy, when the council saw the condition of those 18 ships, a terrible silence filled the chamber. Because everyone understood the truth. Earth had not defended itself. Earth had judged them. And the galaxy had barely survived. The 18 warships arrived in the heart of the galaxy like ghosts. Their hulls were torn and dark, their engines barely alive. When they entered council space, defense fleets moved to intercept, but stopped when they saw the condition of the survivors. These ships were not victorious. They were terrified. Inside the Grand Council chamber, the leaders gathered once more. The same beings who had laughed at Earth now waited in silence. The survivors' recordings began to play. Not battle songs. Not heroic last stands. Only quiet sensor logs, distorted visuals, and long moments of nothing. Silence was the enemy. The surviving commanders spoke slowly, choosing every word with care. They described space that refused to obey known laws. Weapons that never missed. A species that never spoke, never threatened, and never rushed. They did not fight us like rivals, one commander said. They treated us like a problem. The council demanded to know how Earth had done it. The answer made the chamber colder. Humans had prepared long before contact. They had watched the galaxy. They had learned from every war, every collapse, every failed empire. They had built quietly, hiding not because they were afraid, but because they were patient. The council realized a terrible truth. Humanity had not shown its full strength. As fear spread through the chamber, a new signal arrived. Not loud. Not aggressive. Clean and clear. It came from Earth. Every screen displayed the same human symbol. No fleet followed. No weapons were visible. Just a message. This is Earth. The council froze. The message continued, spoken in simple language that left no room for misunderstanding. We detected your invasion force. We removed it. No insults. No threats. We do not seek expansion. We do not seek revenge. A pause followed, long enough for the words to sink in. But we do finish wars. The message ended. Nothing more was sent. The galaxy changed that day. Council laws were rewritten. No fleet could enter human space without invitation. No species was allowed to provoke Earth, directly or indirectly. The name human was added to military training texts, not as an enemy, but as a warning. Trade routes were redirected. Borders were redrawn. Entire empires adjusted their strategies, not to challenge humanity, but to avoid its attention. Earth did nothing. No colonies were claimed. No fleets were displayed. No speeches were made. Humanity returned to silence, just as it had before. But the galaxy could not forget. The story of the 5,000 ships spread from system to system. Each telling grew quieter. The numbers never changed. 5,000 sent. 18 returned. Children learned it in school. Officers whispered it in war rooms. Explorers marked human space with symbols of caution. Humanity became something new. Not rulers. Not conquerors. A line no one dared to cross. Far away, on Earth, the ancient systems powered down. The quiet guardians went back to sleep. Humanity returned to its arguments, its flaws, its daily life. But now, the galaxy watched differently. Because it had learned the most important lesson of all. Earth did not need to shout. It only needed to be left alone.